Sometimes it feels like the world is full of stories that wear us down. This is 10 Better Minutes, a podcast where you will hear real moments that offer a little more balance amid the noise. Here, you will find stories that do not ignore the hard parts, but show some quieter acts of care and connection happening nearby. Today, we will listen to people stepping up in the middle of the night and others helping new life find a safe path. But first, I want to share a story about a 90-year-old man setting out on a long ride to protect a rare forest in Britain. I always find it quietly astonishing when age becomes not a limit, but a compass. On June 19th, 90-year-old explorer and conservationist Robin Hanbury Tennyson will begin a 4-day journey of determination and hope, pedaling a water bike along the River Thames. His route runs from Magdalen Bridge in Oxford down to Teddington Lock, covering 104 miles, with the plan to average about 26 miles per day and to pass at least 31 locks. He will finish on June 22nd, International Rainforest Day, with his tires and his purpose pointing in the same direction. Robin is doing all of this to raise £150,000 for a charity led by his son Merlin. The money will help support the building of Europe's first dedicated temperate rainforest research station, a place rooted in real restoration work. The trust is already connected to a 250-acre rainforest restoration site on the edge of Cornwall's Bodmin Moor, including an oak woodland that has been carbon dated to more than 3,600 years old. And here is the uplifting center of the story. Robin is not waiting for someone else to care. He is training, planning, and showing up day after day until the journey ends at the lock. When people like him combine curiosity, community, and steady effort, progress becomes less like an idea and more like a route you can follow, 1 mile at a time. It is amazing how quickly a community can turn ordinary life into something that matters. This story from Nanaimo reminds me that trust can be as practical as a phone call and a pair of steady hands. In the early hours at 3 a.m. on Saturday, Amy Pye answered her doorbell camera and saw a frightened 12-year-old boy. He had already knocked on 3 other doors before arriving at her place looking for help. When Amy opened the door, she found his father unresponsive, face down in the bathroom, and the boy was there trying to do the right thing even though everything felt too big for his age. Amy did not hesitate. She called emergency services and followed the operator instructions while she began CPR and performed chest compressions. Paramedics arrived after about 10 to 15 minutes, and in that short stretch, the focus stayed simple and clear. Keep going, keep breathing life into the moment, and wait for the next step together. Afterward, BC Ambulance reported that the man was transported in stable condition. Later updates said he was recovering after suffering a heart attack. What stays with me is how the boy did not just ask for help, he kept searching. And Amy did not just answer the door. She stepped in, guided by instructions, staying calm while waiting for professionals. In a time of worry, connection became the bridge to survival, and trust in people carried everyone forward. There are moments on the road that remind us how quickly kindness can turn a tense situation into relief. Today's story is about a stranded newborn moose and the people who chose to help. Near Prince George, British Columbia, on Highway 97, a mother moose successfully guided her twin newborn calves across the roadway. But when the twins reached the center median, a concrete barrier became an obstacle, trapping them on the far side. Drivers noticed and slowed as they saw what was happening, and one motorist, Sandy, recorded the scene so others could witness the reunion as it unfolded. One of the calves did not wait for rescue. It scrambled up and over the barrier on its own and headed back toward its mother. Then the second calf remained stuck, small and unsure, right at the edge of safety. That is when Dwayne Hogberg stepped in. He approached carefully, lifted the frightened newborn moose over the concrete median, and carried it across to the other side. The mother moose stayed nearby, and in time the twins were together again. What I love most is how the whole moment feels like trust answering trust. One calf found its way back, and one person helped the last one follow. It is a simple, hopeful reminder that when we act gently and swiftly, we can help living things find their way home. It is funny how a wedding can feel like more than a party. Sometimes it is really a lifeline to something hopeful, a place to gather when life has been heavy. Pine Brook Manor, about 90 minutes from New York City, is reopening in the Hudson Valley, surrounded by pine forests, a pond with waterways, and a forest chapel. As Indiana and Colin Crilly get the venue back on its feet, they're putting out a simple invitation through an initiative called We Need More Love. Couples can submit written or video entries, sharing the real reasons they want a meaningful celebration, and the owners initially set the deadline for June 30th. Then, after receiving a lot of heartfelt submissions, they extended the deadline as if they could not bear to let good stories slip away. Here's the part that brings the warmth back into focus. One couple will be selected for authenticity and emotional connection, and they will receive a free wedding package worth around $10,000 to use within 1 year if the venue is available. That value can grow to more than $26,000 when you add partner services, including Katai and Ben Photo, an event coordinator, floral credit, and on-site bridal makeup and hair by Meg Brown. What stays with you is how community can turn longing into a tangible plan. Even if you are not the chosen couple, the idea is still there, that love deserves a room to breathe, and that people can make space for it together. On the 4-lane M1 Prince's Motorway south of Sydney, about 40,000 vehicles pass each day, and underneath that speed there is a quieter need. Between Heathcote National Park and Royal National Park, animals cannot easily move through their habitat corridor, so crossing becomes a dangerous detour. Before the retrofit, the team monitored a concrete span near the highway and found something simple and telling. In Australian winter, essentially nothing used the bridge. In summer, there were only a few crossings, as if the structure alone was not enough for different kinds of animals to feel safe enough to try. Then came the transformation of Colley's Bridge. Instead of expecting wildlife to adapt to an empty opening, the project added features that match animal habits. Rope crossings were placed for arboreal and gliding marsupials. Vegetated pathways and soil plantings were set up for ground dwellers, including native plantings intended for wombats, echidnas, and amphibians. Guiding fencing wings were added to lead animals toward the crossing, rather than back into the open noise of traffic. Motion sensing cameras now stand at entry points and along the bridge, ready to record early signs of use and to help the team learn what works over time. By late 2023, internal approval came from 4 government agencies, and funding through the New South Wales Koala Strategy supported nearly $600,000 for construction and maintenance, along with about $54,000 for monitoring. It is a hopeful kind of progress, the kind built for patience and for safe return. As always, I have a helpful reset for you, one you can carry with you long after the episode ends, and it can bring a little more steadiness into your day. Today's tip is about the words that help you live with more balance and less panic. When your mind starts racing, it is often because the sentence you are telling yourself is too sharp, too final, or too urgent. So try trading a few default phrases for ones that invite regulation. Instead of, "This is going to ruin everything," try, "I am having a strong moment and I can handle it one step at a time." Instead of, "I cannot do this," try, "I can do the next small thing." Instead of, "What if something goes wrong?" try, "I do not know yet and I can pause long enough to look." Here is a simple practice. Pick one phrase you can trust and use it as soon as you notice your body tightening. Say it in a gentle voice, even if it feels awkward at first. Let the words do the work of slowing your nervous system down. Balance is not about never feeling fear. It is about speaking to yourself in a way that keeps you oriented, grounded, and moving forward. And that is where we wrap up today's episode, friends. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me and for letting these small, bright spots land, even if the rest of the day feels heavy. The bigger message is simple, really. People are still doing decent things, kindness still shows up in quiet ways, and there is still good in the world, even when it does not make the headlines. If you want a steady stream of grounded good news to balance out the noise, you can follow 10 Better Minutes and subscribe. New episodes are posted every day, so you can come back whenever you need that reset. This is Ian Rhodes with 10 Better Minutes. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.